Welcome, confidential listeners, to another entry from our private archives. This is a space for the unspoken. For those moments where the life you rejected becomes the one you crave from a distance. Tonight's story was sent to me by a woman named Elena, a woman who tried to outrun her past through the rolling hills and horse farms of Kentucky, thinking that a 3-hour drive was enough to silence an old, suffocating love. It is a diary of a desperate escape, a twist of fate in a shared ranch house, and the bitter taste of a regret that burns hotter than a shot of straight bourbon. Titled, I Ran from the Mountains to Find Peace, but the Mirror Found Me First. So, close the door. Turn down the lights and listen closely, because the audience for this truth is only you. Back then, I lived in a small, dying coal town in the Appalachian Mountains of eastern Kentucky. It was the kind of place where the hills felt like they were closing in on you, and for me, that feeling had a name: Caleb. We started dating when I was 15. He was 16, and for 5 years, he didn't just love me, he haunted me. He treated me like a piece of property he'd inherited, not a person. I couldn't go to the local diner or the Friday night football game without him appearing 10 minutes later, eyes darting, asking who I was looking at. Even my best friend stopped calling. The air in that valley was thick with humidity and his control. I felt like a bird trapped in a mine shaft. I tried staying with my aunt in Pikeville, but he'd drive through a thunderstorm just to sit in his truck outside her house, sobbing and pleading for a chance I'd already given him 100 times. He wasn't a violent man. He was a sick one, an anchor that refused to let go. I knew if I didn't leave the mountains, I'd never breathe. I'd just be buried alive in his shadow. I made a choice. I reached out to a distant cousin of my father's who lived in Lexington, a city of white fences and wide open spaces, 3 hours away but a lifetime apart. I packed my life into 2 worn bags and didn't tell a soul until the morning the bus pulled in. But Caleb, he had a way of smelling a goodbye before it even happened. When I got to the station, the morning mist was still clinging to the trees, and there he was, leaning against a post with red-rimmed eyes and a shattered expression. Caleb, please, don't do this. I'll change. I'll give you space. Just don't go to the city. I can't breathe without you in this town. I felt a flicker of pity, but it was quickly snuffed out by the need for survival. I boarded that bus without looking back. As the bus pulled away from the station, I watched his silhouette grow smaller against the jagged mountain backdrop. I prayed to whatever was listening that he would find someone else, someone to fix him, someone to love him so he'd finally leave me alone. I didn't know then that the universe was listening, and it has a very cruel sense of irony. Lexington was everything the mountains weren't. Wide open bluegrass fields, the smell of expensive hay, and air that didn't feel heavy with coal dust. I moved into a guest room at my cousin Sarah's ranch house. Sarah was 10 years older, sharp-witted, and she didn't ask questions she didn't want the answers to. I slept on a mattress on the floor for the first week, listening to the thoroughbreds and the stables next door, finally feeling like I could breathe. That's when I met Jackson. He was the neighbor's son, a man with auburn hair and eyes the color of a shallow creek. You look like you've traveled a long way just to stand still, Elena. Sarah says you're looking for work. My family runs the local saddlery downtown. We could use someone who knows how to handle people as well as they handle leather. I'd be grateful, Jackson, truly. I just want to be useful. I just want a life that's mine. Working with Jackson was a dream. We spent our days surrounded by the scent of treated leather and oil. He was patient, unlike Caleb. He didn't hover, he didn't suffocate. By the third month, we were sharing more than just lunch breaks. The first time he kissed me under the willow tree behind the ranch, I felt the last of the mountain frost melt away. I was in love, and for the first time, I wasn't afraid to look at the horizon. I thought I'd finally outrun the ghost of the coal mines. 7 months had passed. I was a different woman. I had a job I loved, a man who respected me, and I'd even started calling Lexington home. I'd write to my mother back in the mountains, telling her about Jackson, bragging about my happiness. I should have known that in a small state like Kentucky, news travels like a brush fire. I didn't think Caleb would ever find me. I thought the 3-hour drive was a barrier he couldn't cross. I was wrong. It was a humid Saturday afternoon. Jackson and I were walking back from the saddlery, holding hands, laughing at some inside joke. As we turned the corner toward Sarah's gate, I saw a familiar rusted pickup truck parked on the gravel. "Elena, look who drove all the way from the hills to check up on you. He's been waiting an hour." "Caleb, how did you find me?" "Now, Elena, don't be like that. A man hears his girl is doing well, he wants to see it for himself. Is this the one? The one you traded our 5 years for?" He looks at Jackson with a hollow, terrifying smile. "Nice to meet you, Jackson. I've heard so much about you. Elena used to tell me she liked men who were steady. I guess you fit the bill." Jackson's grip on my hand tightened. He knew about Caleb. I told him the sanitized version, the jealous ex story. But seeing Caleb there in my new sanctuary was like seeing a wolf in a nursery. He looked different. He wasn't crying this time. He was dressed in a clean shirt, hair combed back, his voice steady. He looked sane. And that was the most terrifying thing of all. I expected screams. I expected Caleb to make a scene, to try and drag me back to the coal mines by force. But he just stood there with that calm smile that never quite reached his eyes. He started showing up at Sarah's ranch, bringing apple pies and telling stories of the mountains that made Sarah laugh until her eyes teared up. I watched from the kitchen window, seeing the man who'd suffocated me for 5 years transform into the perfect guest. He acted as if we were old friends, as if the stalking, the crying, and the midnight haunting had never happened. "Elena, honestly, you made him sound like a monster. He's been so helpful with the stables, and he speaks so highly of you. Maybe the city air is good for everyone. He seems so reformed." "Sarah, you don't know him. This is a mask. He's a hunter, and he's just waiting for the wind to change. He's not here to visit. He's here to colonize my peace." The worst part was seeing Caleb and Jackson together. Caleb would ask for advice on leatherwork, acting like a humble apprentice. I saw Caleb observing Jackson, studying the way he spoke, the way he touched my shoulder, as if he were memorizing a script for a role he intended to play. He was stitching himself into my new life, thread by thread, and no one else could see the noose tightening around my neck. One night, Sarah hosted a small cookout in the backyard. The flames of the bonfire danced against the white picket fences of Lexington. Jackson was relaxed, a beer in his hand, while Caleb approached him with an ease that made me nauseous. I pulled away from the light, retreating into the shadows of the weeping willow, watching the theater unfold. Caleb leaned toward Jackson, the firelight making his features look like they were carved from jagged Appalachian stone. He wasn't smiling anymore. You're a lucky man, Jackson. Elena, she's like a rare thoroughbred. You have to keep a tight rein on her or she'll bolt. I learned that the hard way back in the mountains. I'm just glad she found someone who can handle her. I don't handle her, Caleb. We're partners. She's free here. That's why she loves Lexington. Free. Is that what she told you? Just remember, Jackson, some birds only fly far because they're looking for a bigger cage. Keep your eyes open when the sun goes down. I saw Jackson stiffen. I saw the seed of doubt being planted in the fertile bluegrass soil. Caleb wasn't trying to take me back anymore. He was trying to poison the ground where I had planted my future. He glanced at me through the flames, a split-second look that said, "If I can't have you, no one will have the version of you that you think you found." That night, the cold of the coal mines finally reached the heart of Lexington. The poison worked slowly. It wasn't a sudden explosion. It was a slow, agonizing corrosion of the trust I had built with Jackson. Caleb didn't stop at whispers by the fire. He became a permanent fixture at the ranch, always helping with a broken fence or a stubborn horse. I began to see the doubt in Jackson's eyes, the way he looked at me when I talked about my past, as if he were looking for the cage Caleb had mentioned. We started arguing over nothing. The laughter and the saddlery died, replaced by a heavy, humid silence that felt like the air before a tornado. Elena, maybe you're just overreacting. Caleb's been nothing but a gentleman since he got here. He even helped my dad with the tractor yesterday. Why can't you just move on? It feels like you're the one holding on to the grudge, not him. He's not helping, Jackson. He's occupying. Can't you see he's standing in every corner of our lives? He's making me look crazy while he plays the saint. I felt the distance between us growing like a canyon. Caleb had managed to make my survival instincts look like mountain baggage. I was the difficult one now. I was the one who couldn't let go of the drama. I saw them talking in the stables, Caleb and Jackson, two friends sharing a life that used to be mine. The irony was a jagged pill in my throat. I had moved 1,000 miles to get away from Caleb, and now I was the stranger in my own home, while he was the one everyone wanted around. Then came the night the world truly flipped on its axis. My relationship with Jackson had finally crumbled. We had separated, but were still living on the same land, two ghosts haunting the same ranch. I walked into the kitchen to get a glass of water, and I saw Caleb sitting at the table with Sarah. He was helping her go over the ranch's ledgers, his hand moving steadily across the paper. They looked right. They looked like a couple. My cousin, the woman who was supposed to be my protector, was looking at the man who had ruined my youth with a warmth I hadn't seen in years. "Oh, Elena, you're up. Caleb was just showing me how they used to manage the accounts back at the mine. He's got such a head for numbers. We were thinking of going into town for dinner tomorrow. You're welcome to join us, if you can be civil." Now, Sarah, don't pressure her. Elena's had a hard time adjusting to the pace of the city. I just want everyone to be happy. That's all I ever wanted. I felt a wave of nausea so strong I had to grip the counter. Caleb wasn't just here for me anymore. He was here for them. He was treating Sarah with the same tenderness he once used to lure me in, but this time he was doing it right. He was the perfect partner, the perfect worker, the perfect man. I stood there, the woman who had fled the mountains in the middle of the night, realizing that the monster I ran from had become the hero of Lexington. I had given him the map to my new life, and he had simply moved in and changed the locks. 3 months passed. The humid Kentucky summer was at its peak, the air so thick you could almost taste the rot. I had moved out of the main house and into the small groom's quarters above the stables, unable to bear the sight of Caleb and Sarah together. I thought I had seen the worst of it, until the night Sarah called a family dinner. The table was set with the fine china, the same ones we used for Jackson's birthday. "Elena, Jackson, we have news. We didn't want to say anything until we were sure, but Caleb and I are expecting. I'm pregnant. We're going to be a family right here on the ranch." I've always wanted to be a father. I guess Lexington was the place where I was finally supposed to grow up. Don't look so shocked, Elena. Isn't this what you wanted for me? For me to find someone else? I felt the room spin. The man who had chased me through the coal dust, the man who had suffocated my every breath, was now the father of my cousin's child. I looked at Sarah, glowing with a misplaced pride, and then at Jackson, who was nodding in approval as if he were happy for his friend. I was the only one who knew the wolf was in the nursery. I was the only one who remembered the screams in the mountains. The irony was a jagged blade in my gut. I had fled to Lexington to lose him, and now he was the heart of the home while I was the ghost in the barn. The ranch wasn't big enough for all of us anymore. Now that a baby was on the way, Sarah suggested that they needed the groom's quarters for a nursery. I was being evicted from my own escape. I spent my final night in Lexington packing the same 2 worn bags I had brought from the mountains. Jackson didn't even come to say goodbye. He was too busy helping Caleb build a crib in the shed. I stood there, the white fences looking like the bars of a cage I had built for myself. I had given Caleb everything he needed to replace me. I had shown him the city, introduced him to the family, and provided the very vacuum he needed to fill. He wasn't the monster anymore. I was the unstable cousin who couldn't handle the mountains and couldn't handle the city. Leaving again, Elena? You always were good at running. Just remember, I didn't take this from you. You gave it to me the moment you left. I'm just the man who stayed to pick up the pieces. Goodbye, Elena. I hope you find what you're looking for, wherever the bus takes you this time. I didn't answer. I couldn't. I just walked toward the main road, the sound of my own footsteps echoing like the coal cars in the mines. I had run 1,000 miles just to end up exactly where I started, alone, while Caleb held the world I thought was mine. I'm living in Louisville now, working in a diner where nobody knows my name. I don't write to my mother anymore, and I don't call Sarah. Sometimes when the moon is high over the Kentucky hills, I catch myself looking at the news, half expecting to see Caleb's face. I heard from a traveler that the ranch is thriving, that Sarah and Caleb have a beautiful baby boy, that they are the envy of the county. I spend my nights wondering if he really changed or if he's just better at hiding the hunter now. I feel a gnawing envy that I can't suppress, an envy for the life he has, the life I could have had if I hadn't been so afraid. I see him in my dreams, treating Sarah with the tenderness I once craved, giving her the stability I ran from. I feel robbed, not by him, but by the choices I made in the dark. Some fires don't just burn your house down, they wait for you to build a new one just so they can move in and keep warm while you freeze outside. the final entry from Elena's archive. A story of a woman who tried to outrun a shadow, only to find that the shadow was faster than the bus. It's a bitter truth, isn't it, that sometimes the peace we seek is found by the very people we flee from. Now, if Elena's journey through the bluegrass has moved you, please leave a like on this video and subscribe to our channel. Help us continue to unbox these heavy truths from the secrets inbox. But now, I want to turn this over to you, my confidential listeners. Was Caleb truly a reformed man, or was this his ultimate revenge? Would you have stayed to fight for your place, or would you have kept running into the dark? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Because in Kentucky, the grass is always blue, but the secrets it hides are as black as coal. Until next time, stay safe and keep your secrets close. Good night.